Imagine that moment when the door you've walked through 1,000 times suddenly feels like a stranger's barrier. The key doesn't turn. Your belongings are piled on the porch like discarded trash. And through the window, your own mother watches with a calm that cuts deeper than any scream. That's where it started for me. Emily Harper. On a drizzly evening in Oakwood Heights, New Jersey, where the suburbs stretch out like promises nobody keeps. I just pulled into the driveway after a grueling day auditing financial ledgers at Vanguard Finance, my arms heavy with grocery bags filled with the organic produce my mother, Patricia, always demanded but never touched. The house glowed warmly from within, the same 3-bedroom colonial where I'd grown up, where I'd learned to tie my shoes in the hallway and buried my first pet in the backyard. But that night, it wasn't home anymore. It was a trap I'd walked into with open eyes, blinded by the lie that blood means loyalty. I fumbled with the key, my heart already sensing the wrongness. The lock had been changed. Fresh brass gleamed mockingly under the porch light I'd installed myself just months ago. Panic rose slow, like bile in my throat. As I circled to the front door, same story. New hardware. Peering through the glass, I saw my sister Sophia lounging on the couch we'd refinished together, her phone glowing in her lap. She glanced up, met my eyes, and looked away. I knocked, first politely, then with the desperation of someone realizing their world is crumbling. Finally, she sauntered over, cracking the door just enough to speak. "Mom wants to talk to you," she said, her voice flat, like this was just another errand. "Why are my things outside? Why the new locks?" She shrugged. "Just go talk to her." The kitchen smelled of the lasagna my husband Ryan had baked the night before, a rare treat in our stretched budget. Patricia sat at the table, the granite-topped one I'd agonized over during the remodel, sifting through mail as if nothing was amiss. She didn't look up. "Your stuff's on the porch," she said casually, like noting the weather. "Marcus is moving in tomorrow. Sophia and the kids need more space, the attic's turning into a playroom." My bags slipped to the floor with a thud. "That's our bedroom. We had an agreement." She finally met my gaze, her eyes cool and unyielding. "Did we? Anything in writing? You're my daughter, I didn't think we'd need contracts." The room tilted. "We moved in because you promised to add me to the deed after the renovations. I spent everything, $45,000 from our savings. My retirement penalty's eating us alive." She stood, putting away the milk I'd just bought. "You chose to help. No one twisted your arm. And as for the deed, I've decided it's staying in my name. It'll pass to you and Sophia equally when I'm gone. Fair's fair. Fair." The word echoed in my head like a bad joke. When had anything been fair? Growing up, I was the shadow in our family, the quiet kid who aced tests while Sophia partied through high school, dropping out of community college twice before landing pregnant at 21. Mom always had a soft spot for her, the spirited one, while I was the reliable fixer, the one who picked up the pieces. Dad's death from a heart attack during my sophomore year at Rutgers shattered us, but it didn't change the roles. If anything, it cemented them. Mom's grief turned to reckless spending, refinancing the house, racking up debt on trinkets and trips with Sophia. Family sticks together, she'd sob over late-night calls, and I'd wire money from my part-time gigs, delaying my own dreams. By 22, I'd emptied my savings to stop the first foreclosure. It became a ritual, her crises, my bailouts. Sophia's failed marriages, 3 now, with kids from each, meant more mouths to feed, more bills landing on my doorstep. "Just until things settle," Mom would say. But settling never came. At 36, I was still renting a cramped apartment in the next town over when Ryan and I married. He was a steady software engineer, patient with my family's endless strains on our life. But the calls never stopped. Leaky roof. Broken furnace. Sophia's car repossessed. I became a senior auditor because numbers don't lie. They reveal where the leaks are. The hidden drains. Irony hit hard when my own money vanished into that house. The family legacy Mom dangled like a carrot. Dad had loved it, teaching me to garden in the backyard. But after he was gone, it became a black hole. I'd poured thousands into it over the years, new siding after a storm, updated plumbing, electrical rewiring. Each yes felt like duty, like love. "You're so responsible," Mom would coo. Right before the ask. Ryan watched our joint account dwindle, his runs growing longer as stress built. "Why don't they ever just check in?" he'd ask. I had no answer. Because deep down, I knew I was the ATM, not the daughter. The turning point had crept up months earlier. With Sophia back home after her latest divorce, the house felt crowded, her twins and toddler turning every room into chaos. Mom cornered me one Sunday over coffee. "We need to talk about the house. It's falling apart, the basement floods. Kitchen's outdated. I'd already fixed the basement twice. What do you need?" I sighed. Checkbook ready. But this time, it was bigger. Move back in. Stop wasting rent. Help renovate. And I'll add you to the deed. Make it official, your inheritance secured. Ryan hesitated. But I convinced him. "It's an investment," I said, echoing her words. We gave notice on our lease. Sold his old truck for the commute. And I cashed out $28,000 from retirement, swallowing the tax hit. Family, right? The remodel was my nightmare reborn. Weekends blurred into sweat and sawdust, Ryan hanging drywall, me haggling with contractors. New roof, $9,000. Kitchen gut, $14,000. Basement redo, $7,000. HVAC overhaul, $9,000. By the end, $45,000 gone. Credit card screaming. The house shown modern, valuable. A far cry from the dated relic it had been. Mom toured it like royalty. "Gorgeous. Your dad would approve." I pressed. "The deed paperwork?" She waved it off. "Soon. Let's not rush." Warning bells rang. But I silenced them. Family trusts family. Living there amplified the rot. Sophia claimed the best rooms for her brood, relegating us to the attic with its sloped ceilings. "You don't have kids," she'd sneer over breakfast. Her nails freshly done while I wrote checks for utilities. "Must be nice. Keeping your money." Her latest fling, Marcus, loomed large. Jobless but opinionated. Mom fawned over him, ignoring our cramped existence. Tensions boiled, arguments over space. Bills. Everything. One night, I confronted her about the deed. "You promised." Her face twisted. "You think money buys ownership? This is my house, your dad's gift to me." The betrayal sank in slow. A poison drip. Ryan whispered, "She's never adding you." But I clung to hope. Until that Thursday shattered it. Back in the kitchen. Groceries forgotten. Her words hung heavy. "If you're unhappy, leave. There's a motel down on Route 46, cheap rates." I stared. Numb. "You're choosing Sophia's boyfriend over your own daughter?" She shrugged. "Stability for the grandkids. You're capable, you'll land on your feet." The killing stroke. "You were always too proud. Acting like we're charity." This was never your house, just a place you overstayed. The world narrowed to those words. Guest. Overstayed. After everything, the money, the labor, the years of silent sacrifice. I grabbed my phone. Called Ryan. "Come get me. We've been evicted." His voice cracked. From what was supposed to be ours? The motel room that night was a blur of fluorescent lights and thin walls. Ryan held me as rage simmered into resolve. I'd been invisible, the dutiful shadow. But invisibility has power, planning in the dark. Weeks later, bumping into my old college friend Laura, now a real estate lawyer in Trenton. Cracked the plan open. Over coffee. I spilled it all. She pulled up public records on her tablet. Your mom's got $65,000 in equity loans taken out during your remodels. She's defaulting. My blood chilled. She'd borrowed against my improvements. The house is foreclosure bound, Laura said. Buy the debt through an LLC. Foreclose anonymously. Legal as daylight. We scrimped for months, overtime audits. Ryan's side gigs in app development. Selling heirlooms. Rice for dinner. No vacations. We raised $13,000. Laura set up EH Holdings. The debt auction, we snagged it for $12,500. Ownership of her downfall. Wrapped in paperwork. The notices started, certified mail. Court filings. Mom ignored the first. Panicked on the second. Her lawyers flailed, motions denied. Sophia's social media erupted, sob stories about predatory lenders ruining families. Family called, begging reconciliation. I blocked them all. Day 85, attempts to refinance failed, her credit in ruins. Marcus bolted after a fraud bust. Desperation peaked. Voicemails piled, Emily. The kids. Homeless because of you. I felt the old pull. The guilt ingrained from years of being the fixer. But Ryan reminded me, they discarded you first. Court day arrived. Rain-slicked steps in Camden County. I sat anonymously as the judge granted foreclosure. Mom and Sophia wailed in the back. Then I stood. Deed in hand, transfer from my LLC to Emily Harper. Their faces, shock. Fury. Crumbling. You did this, Patricia gasped. I echoed her. This was never your house. Sounds like a you problem. Walking out. Sun-piercing clouds. I breathed free. Eviction followed. Cameras caught their frantic packing. Attempted thefts halted by sheriffs. They left on day 14. Note on the counter. Property over people, your choice. I crumpled it. No regrets. Just closure. I kept the house briefly repainted. Exorcised ghosts, then sold for $360,000. Netted $48,000 after costs. Profit on pain. Mom's final plea in a bank lobby, we're in shelters. I walked away. Therapy taught me, blood isn't bond, it's behavior. Now, in our own modest home Ryan and I bought outright. I sleep without debts, financial or emotional. The price of freedom? Steep. But paid in full,